My name is Pat Freeman here on the network with my buddy Chris Stevenson. How you doing, Chris?
What's going on, Patrick?
We are now entering into the second term of President Barack Obama. And some of the people around the country are losing their minds, aren't they?
It's starting to happen.
Protests everywhere.
You know, I've heard more than I've seen, but I listened to Hannity, especially the day after, and he was just off the chain. And of course, so I saw somebody posted it on Facebook, and it's not on YouTube yet, where Rahm Emanuel, former chief of staff for Obama, he went on there as a guest on the Hannity show, and he ripped Hannity a new one. Okay, and Hannity was coming up with all this nonsense about it. He's the one that really popularized the socialist title. A lot of people don't know that. He put socialist in the minds of the people because he was saying that word like probably a good 10, 15 times every minute. And the repetitive, over the years, the repetitiveness really, really sunk into people's minds. Right. So he started with the socialist thing and the communist inferences and everything, and Rahm just told him, shut the F up. And, Rahm basically said, it's my fault for even being here. I'm even more unenlightened just for being here. But, he told him off, and then he got up and left. But, as you yourself had stated earlier, it's just the beginning.
It is.
It's just beginning.
And it is strange how America has failed to deal with the issue of race. You elect your first African-American president, and you still are not dealing with the issue of race. You're taking his policies and you're making them socialism when a lot of his policies have come from Republican ideas. The part of the individual mandate for health care is a Republican idea. It really was fashioned properly under the Romney administration in Massachusetts. Yeah. But it was good when he did it. But when President Obama put it forth, it becomes socialism. And he's trying to change America. And the world is going to end next week. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but I've been hearing this.
Sandy
I
was...
guess bridges are going to fall, bridges are going to fall, and buildings are going to collapse, and everything. And how does a black man create a hurricane? I never knew he had that much power.
It's not that, and I think people need to read the book, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and the Cress Theory, and the fear of genetic annihilation. White America, in a large part, is losing their grip of power. And their fear of a black planet is coming into fruition. They cannot win a national election with old white guys anymore. You cannot dictate to women how they're going to be and how they're going to view their bodies. This was rejected by white women in this country in a large part. And the Republican Party is making itself obsolete.
Well, Obama won 55% of the white vote.
Yes.
The disturbing part of that is that 45% of the women, or 40, somewhere in the 40s, they still voted for Romney.
Right.
Which to me is mental retardation, because you talk about annihilation. You're voting for your own annihilation. Here's a guy that has no regard for you. Okay, he's not with the abortion thing. They and rape and all that stuff. All these statements they were making for months beforehand. And I've even argued with a white female on Blog Talk Radio regarding that. And her mind was just made up. I'm voting for Romney, and that's it. And that's the whole thing. So,
now, has there ever been a presidential candidate that has not revealed any of his plans for America? He basically won the Republican nomination by de facto default because they had so many bad candidates.
Yeah.
This man never revealed anything that he was going to do.
All he did was say, more or less, we're white, and you don't like it, too bad. Right. That was the name of his campaign. Okay, invisibly, but ambiguously, but that's what the name of it was, and that's what he ran on. Nobody demanded that he really have a plan. He didn't even reveal his tax return.
Right.
And nobody really pressured him to do that.
Or his overseas accounts.
Exactly.
Another thing they're not talking about, you're not going to hear this on Fox News or any of the other major networks. They located more than $6 trillion in overseas accounts in the Cayman Islands. Those accounts were located by the Secret Service those accounts are going to be taxed under Obama. That's why the Adelsons and the Cook brothers were pouring so many millions of dollars into this election to try to offset the tax consequences that are looming on all of them that have hidden trillions of dollars overseas, that have helped to wreck the economy of the United States of America under the Bush administration. Those war accounts, the Halliburtons, all of them have hidden money overseas to keep from paying taxes on those accounts. And those bills are going to come due under the Obama administration this time. And we're going to see that happen.
Yeah, that's very good. And it would be very appropriate to see that happen. You know, and as far as the future, you're not really, even though Obama won, it wasn't a Democratic victory overall.
No.
Okay, the Congress is still Congress, and the Senate lost more Democratic seats this time around. How difficult will it be for Obama?
Well, actually, the Congress gained seats. They didn't gain control.
All right.
The Senate, they gained 5 seats. They didn't gain the filibuster.
Right.
That's the issue, is they can still filibuster a lot of Obama's legislation in the Senate.
So you're going to have to look for 2014 for.
No, with this fiscal cliff is going to change everything, man. They should have never agreed to it. Obama's got the power. Mm-hmm. He can let them fall over the fiscal cliff, and you're back into the Clinton era tax reform of that day. Mm-hmm. Whereas the wealthy will be taxed more, but there will be a middle class increase with that too. Okay. That's the looming problem with that. The fiscal cliff is Obama's power. If you don't want the country to go over the fiscal cliff, they're going to have to do a deal. And I think they're going to have to do a deal quick. If not, Obama can just say, hey, let it go. Fall off the fiscal cliff. That means we're back into the Clinton-era tax system, and that's exactly what he wanted. So he has the basic power in the next few months with this, and he has a mandate from the American public. He received over 50% of the vote. There's only been 2 presidents in the last, I think, 2 presidents period that have gotten 50% of the vote in 2 elections, him and Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to downplay the magnitude of the greatness of this president. He's passed more legislation than any other president other than Franklin Delano Roosevelt in his first 4 years. He's a game changer. He introduced universal health care. A lot of people are trying to say that, oh, it's been 50 years since we've been working on that. That's not true. Universal health care as an issue became an issue in the United States of America since the 14th president of the United States, Franklin Pierce, tried to introduce it. He was the 14th president. This has been going on for almost 200 years or more. And Obama got it done. Yeah. That's what they're afraid of. He's gotten more done. He got what Bush couldn't find. Yeah. Bush couldn't figure out where Osama was. This man went in, got him, took care of business. He's done everything that Republicans
That's
could
the
not
most
do.
important hit, probably even more so than Hitler. Okay, Hitler killed himself before anybody could get
Absolutely.
to him. Okay, that's the thing. Otherwise, the same thing would have happened to him. But Bin Laden was taken by surprise completely.
And they've never given him the credit. That's the part that bothers me.
No, they don't. Even some of the Navy SEALs don't want to give him credit.
They don't want to give him the credit. He made the call because he's black. And America still refuses to deal with the issue of race. Mm-hmm. Race is a major problem. Why is it that white men that are in unions overwhelmingly voted for Romney, who's anti-union, and wants to raise your taxes? Because of Obama being black, and you're listening to the Sean Hannitys.
Oh, yeah. The contradictions are across the board. You got white Christians, evangelicals, and everything voting for this guy who is a member of a weird cult.
A cult.
Based on science fictional beliefs.
Right.
Okay, so they contradicted themselves in many ways in voting for Romney.
Right.
Whether they vote for a Christian, family man, okay, moral, not a cheater, or anything, but he's black. Okay,
and that's sad. I made 250 phone calls the day of the election in the battleground states. And, some of the calls didn't go as friendly as I would like. One lady called him a monster. I'm not voting for that monster. I said, okay, it's your right. You're an American citizen. You vote for whoever you want, and we appreciate you exercising your American right to vote, and hung up the phone. But that's one of the major things that I see in this country is that America refuses still, after the Civil Rights era, after the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, now we're in the 21st century, the biggest problem that America has still is the issue of race. And the reason that President Obama is reelected is the demographics have changed so significantly that it's going to be very difficult for a white male ever to be elected to a national office of president in this country.
Yes.
It's going to be very difficult. It would have to be a collective mandate for it to happen. And that's either a Democratic or Republican. And look at the demographics of the vote. Now they keep saying African Americans. I don't like the way they're categorizing us into the African Americans, where you're not including the Africans that are from the Caribbean islands, Panama, Belize, other parts. That's another 4 to 5%. Whereas Obama got at least 95% of that vote. That's unprecedented, man. Unprecedented. 72% of the Latino vote. That's incredible. And these demographics have changed now, right?
Well, and that shows you, because I thought the black vote was compromised to some extent with all the complaining, the Tavis Smileys and Cornel West and the so-called black conservatives and everything. Right. But I think our people, we talk a lot of stuff beforehand, but when you get right behind the curtain, what choice are you going to make? And I think once they got behind that curtain, once they got behind that voting booth and filled in the dots, the line, whatever, they voted Obama.
Right.
All right. So what you have here is another resounding response from the black vote, or as they said the first time in 2008, Pookie got off the couch. Well, Pookie got off the couch again in 2012.
And I think that's what we've seen, and I think it was. To see the response, the protests, University of Mississippi and around the country, people tweeting. If you can go online now, they categorized all the racist tweets around the country, and most of them were coming from the red states. Some of them coming from a lot of the blue states. Right. But some of the viciousness that was said, there has been more Secret Service investigations triggered since election night on threats to Obama's life. And this man has never done anything wrong. He's shown a great amount of humanity towards people that need a president to care for them. Yeah. And he's a tremendous family man. And I love his relationship with his wife. And that is one of the greatest things that you can say about any black in this country is your relationship with a black woman. And that is something they can't stand either. No. And she outdid Miss Ann Romney. Miss Romney might be a nice person, but Michelle Obama's a lawyer. Yeah. She's a professional. She was she supervised how they met. She was the president's supervisor. And what she did at the Democratic Convention and what she's done this whole 4 years, she has really elevated the level of First Lady. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about...
And it's not just that. She's extremely beautiful.
And she can dance.
She is a beautiful person.
She can dance.
She can dance.
Yeah,
okay?
She can dance.
She
got rhythm. It's good to have rhythm in the White House.
She got it going on in so many ways.
Yeah.
Okay?
And Ted Nugent's hatred. You know why Ted Nugent's really mad?
Why?
Because you don't have them country bumpkins coming in the White House singing doohickey. We finally got Earth, Wind, and Fire and Stevie Wonder.
Right.
And they losing their minds about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Stevie Wonder he actually, what I hear, he's got his own room in the White House. Okay, so it's you got a black family in the White House making their decisions, doing things the way they want to do them.
And it's making America sane.
It's making America sane, and it goes back to what you were saying in the beginning, because I read the ISIS papers years ago, and it's an amazing book. And yeah, there is the white population is shrinking. They recognize it now. And it is the definite fear of genetic annihilation going on with them. That's the prime reason that's behind a lot of things that they're doing and saying now in response to Obama. You're seeing it right here.
Well, the language. We're going to take America back. Back from who? Who are you taking it back from?
Yeah. You're not getting it back from us. We don't control anything. We don't control any infrastructure.
Right. We're going to make America again. John Sununu saying, I wish this president would learn how to be an American.
Mm-hmm.
Race is still the centralized issue of this country.
And it's going to have to, within the next 4 years, it has to be addressed. Obama's going to have to really figure out a way to address it and draw the line.
Well, he's at the point now, he's got the power, man. That voting electorate has been diminishing 4 percentage points every year.
Yeah.
And it's going to get worse. It was 72% white electorate participation. 2016, it will be in the 60s. It will be very difficult to elect any person that does not represent a diverse power base of values. Mm-hmm. And the Republican Party does not do that anymore.
Right.
That's their biggest problem. And they're saying, America's not the same anymore, and America doesn't like us. Yeah, well, you're trying to hold on to that good old boy network, and it's losing its hold on this country, and it's not going to be the same. All right, that's all for us here on the network. We're going to talk more about that with Chris Stevenson. Chris, give out your blog post.
BuffaloBullet.com, thebuffalobullet.com. Check us out for very good articles from several of our columnists. And, of course, hit me on Twitter, pointblank009. Same thing with Pat Freeman, @FreeMaj, and as well as Facebook.
All right, that's here for us on the network. We'll see you next week right here on the network.